The I-185 is the new Soviet fighter at Tier 5. This fighter was initially designed in the early 40s as a development of the I-180. Of course, in this video we're going to be doing the history, the stats, and the verdict of what I think about the I-185. If you haven't liked, subscribed, or joined the Discord, now's the time too. But that said, let's get started with the history. The I-185, designed in the early 40s, was a development of the I-180 and the I-16, but was nearly a new design. It featured a new fuselage made of brick, plywood, and a smaller, thin all-metal wing, and beryllium skin. The I-185 used a conventional undercarriage and had protective fuel tanks. It initially carried an experimental Kumansky M90 engine, but due to insignificant power, it was modified to the M81 engine, and later the M82 and the M71s, of which the version that we have in-game has the M82. These prototypes faced delays and issues after the German invasion in 1941. Test flights in 1942 showed the M71 powered the M185 faster than the Bf-109 and was recommended for production. Despite enthusiastic pilot reports, the production was halted after a conversation between Yakovlev and Stalin citing the need for new engines for the LA-5 and less disruption to production lines already in place for the LA-GG3, as well as a shortage of beryllium. So in short, in order to stop production delays, they didn't really mass produce this thing and instead went out with the LA-5 and the LA-7, which were also great planes. Great planes that I'll be doing a video on. But in terms of these stats, the I-185 at 3 stars has a crew of 1, has 2 250kg bombs, has 3 20mm Shabak cannons, the maximum speed is 650, the maximum climb rate is 25, best turn of 18. That said, let's move on to the verdict. And there's a lot of good things and a lot of questionable things. Most of the good things is what you see on paper. For example, the good 250kg bombs. To be exact, there's 2 250kg bombs. However, once dropping the bombs, especially in combat, I find there to be hard to aim. Much harder to aim than the Japanese 250kg bombs, or any 250kg bombs in general. And that is mainly because how the aircraft is built. For you see, the cockpit is actually lower, and then the engine is put almost in front of the cockpit, but a little bit above where it usually should be. Therefore, in order to aim, which I found out in the test flight, you have to aim with the propeller and not with the sights. So that's that. The engine, on the other hand, is good, but once again, it's not the best. Flaps are good, but not the best. It is average in almost every single way except for the gun. For you see, the 3 20mm Shabak guns are very, very good. They're also mounted in the cockpit, meaning that these things will shred anything that you come across. As a matter of fact, I think shred is a light word because this thing can kill almost anything in a few bursts. And if you haven't used these, I highly suggest that you do. But on the other hand, there's not a lot of ammunition for these guns, so that's going to be an issue. That said, almost every single plane that you will find will be shredded by your guns, if you know where to aim, of course. Overall, the bombs are hard to use, but if you know where to bomb, then you're doing great. But everything else is average. That said, this is all it for this video. If you haven't liked, subscribed, or joined the Discord, I highly suggest that you do. But that said, I'll see you in the next one.